Hello again. Well, it's kind of hilarious how much money can this fucking DRM bullshit can cost to developers that wants to implement it because, well, they still claim, yeah, we're going to sell our crap to our customers, but still we're going to fuck them in the ass, while also it fuck us in the process. Hmm. So you have this. Since not only we rant about the fucking woke ideology with video games, we also point out that there is this fucking bad practice that just once again driving away more people into the 70s, especially when the pirate version is the best version out of the main one that you can buy. You're a PC player on Steam. And this is from Pirate Nation. This is how much Denuvo costs developers, straight from the source. So Amazon Web Service promotes this DRM shit. The service with that company, Denuvo, here is pricing information. Below are total costs for these different subscription durations, additional taxes, or fees may apply. So, for 1 month, license fee, per game activations, license source protected by the Nuvo anti-tamper. Protected, quote, that was in quotes. A half a dollar. And monthly fee, per game protected by the Nuvo tamper per month. $25,000. Oh man. Uses information fulfillment options. Software as a service. Software as a service is a delivery model software application whereby vendor hosts and operates the application over. Well, we know. It's just you own nothing because it's always tied to a fucking server. Your copy ready for Pasa. Infrastructure with SaaS contracts customers will pay for usage. So yeah, I just going to cite what some of the comments says here. Especially, I think this one is a spot. Reduce your gains frames per second by up to 20% by paying a little less $25,000 a month. Don't wonder Square's not making money. Honestly, Mike mentions if they patch out the Nuvo after a couple of months. How can this be sustainable years in the future? It isn't. This is not sustainable. The only reason they are just even wasting all this money on fucking the Nuvo is just to please fucking investors that say we don't want this game to be pirated, so screw out our main consumers. Screw them in the ass by putting something that is just to add fucking Bitcoin mining to these levels of resource consuming in your PC. Because once again, I have to state, the Nuvo is like games as a service. It's tied to a fucking server. Or imagine, even if you have a game that is even a live service but also has the Nuvo. An example, Destiny 2. I don't know if that game has the Nuvo. I don't remember. If they did, they can go fuck themselves. I don't not interested in that slot. Imagine you have a live service as Destiny 2. That this is a live service. I already repeated myself there. It is tied to a server because the whole purpose of that game is just engage with the player whatever content is tied to said server. Well, you add the Nubo to the mix. You have, for example, you're playing and you know you are connected to Bungie servers, but suddenly the Nubo crashed because it happened. Resident Evil Village had that, and single player game had the Nubo, and that game was unplayable despite that you can successfully log yourself into your Steam account. It could happen the same to fucking Destiny. The the game will straight out crash because it still forces you to verify your license towards that fucking server in Amazon Web Services that is just from the Denuvo itself. Crippling your computer because it's just making go spin out the out processor. All all the overheating because it's taking so much fucking resources to just many to do so many HTTP requests to verify that yeah your game is what it is. It's your, while you are straight playing, it verifies at all times that you are the one that play it for that shit. And but the pirates, the 7C pirates, they just can straight just remove that shit. Whatever time it takes, they have removed that in time record, and they can play in a better versions that is performing better than the official one that you buy from those platforms like Steam. And it's mind-boggling. Honestly, I'm just to be honest, it concerns me since it costs money. Of fucking course, that service costs money, and they're wasting all that money instead of focusing on just making better games. With that money, you can actually put resources to better use than just kneecapping your main customers, your consumers, with that fucking shit. That eventually, if the Nugo end up bankrupt and that shit is not removed, it's again, I have to bring sample with games for Windows Live because the Nubo is the spiritual successor of games for Windows Live. If you don't know what that was, it was the, the precursor, the first one that brought DRM shit to this level like the Nubo is to PC gaming. How they do that? By actually being a fucking sort of Denuvo that you were forced to to install an software from of that name that you were needed and required forcibly required to redeem the key of your game, despite that you were buying a physical PC game. I'm not making that up. This one, I have one of these. So imagine were in a PC era where you can still play physical games on PC. Well, you have to install it and still you redeem an in-game key and still play it while the disc is in the disk drive. But what happens with games for Windows Live? Well, it forces you to install that fucking software, activate your key inside that fucking platform in order to play a physical game. They tried to do that shit with Xbox One and look what happened compared to the PlayStation 4 career. And games for Windows doesn't exist anymore other than yeah, you can install the software but it doesn't connect to fucking servers. That service got shut down. But still, many games along with their online component got lost forever because they were these fucking companies they were using that shit until they realized, yeah, I'm not going to buy your slot. Or even if the game is good, if it has that shit, I'm not going to buy it because you are just flipping what I bought. And it happened. This copy for me is useless. Even I know in the 70s people already found the way to play this game of live, but they couldn't remove that fucking games for Windows Live entirely. And even if you find some 70s game, for example, that racing game Gear 2 has that shit. And even some people manage to patch it but you're still required to use games for Windows Live, while also you see problems because it operated the same way as the Denuvo is currently operating now. DRM at the expense of fucking cheating on the consumer, on the customer. For what purpose? You're wasting so much fucking money. And even if, imagine if that's one of those companies suddenly ends up bankrupt, but they use it the Nubo. Eventually, when every single one of those developers leave, and no one is just to there to remove that shit, because even the company went bankrupt, well, you just lost your game, despite that you can still re-download it on your favorite client, wherever GOG or Steam or Epic Games, since even if you are just confirming you have the license in said platforms, Denuvo. Eventually, when the service runs out, since this isn't Denuvo, well, you can't play it. You, the paid customer, can't play it, but the 7C pirates can. Fuck off with that shit. So that's all I wanted to share here with you for now. Thanks for watching and please take care.